NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Grippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Hopefully you can hear me and you've had a good weekend. My name is Nathan Ivy. This is the Nathan Ivy Show. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal, very vocal, broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio, city of my birth. This is the last honest place in Cincinnati media. For that matter, the last honest place in America. If you would like to share your thoughts this morning on any topic that you hear discussed, you can do so very easily at 513-873-7134. Should be a free phone call anywhere in the country and perhaps the world. Again, 513-873-7134. That is a free phone call. I want to put a word back out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Your contributions mean so much. And I want to invite you to become a patron of the Nathan Ivy Show and support independent media. You know, as you hear, if you've been listening to the show, obviously I've developed partnerships with people all over the city, all over the region in terms of advertisers, and those partnerships will continue. But, nothing would be better than to have the kind of relationship where, we're ad-free, 100% supported by the listeners. And you can go to Patreon /Nathan Ivy Show. I'll post a link. And you can join. If you are a patron, make sure you check that feed. That feed is really, I'm turning up the temperature. There's a lot more content on that feed. I'm putting content up every other day, several times per week. What I'd like to do is create a relationship where some of the folks that listen to the show can become producers of the show. And then I'm going to do that in terms of Patreon, just to develop a back channel where you can give your feedback to the show and give suggestions about the future of the Nathan Ivy Show, and also send digital media. If you don't know, I'm now producing podcasts for other folks, like the Is It Just Me podcast with Donnie B on Fridays. Donnie B is the best new talk radio voice, hands down, in Cincinnati, period. Anybody says anything otherwise is just ignorant or they hating, period. The Truth to Power podcast with the Cincinnati NAACP, your Cincinnati NAACP. As I understand it, they're one of a handful, if not the only Cincinnati NAACP in the entire country to be creating their own media and to be streaming a live show on a regular basis. And, I don't talk about too much, and neither do they, but I think that's significant. The Cutting Through the BS podcast with the homie Clue Magic and Fast Pitch. They'll be back and better than ever. course, the fast pitch had something going on with her family. She had a death in her family. And, of course, family is always first. Always first. It's been a minute since I've recorded, but a Truth to Power podcast, but those conversations continue, and you can expect more from that podcast, hosted by myself and a member of City Council, PG Sittenfeld. I want to recast the B word. I love that. Of course, I kicked it off with Jerry Tolliver and Kenya Owen Duke, and I did a great job. And but I like the branding. I like the brand, but I'm looking to rebrand the host. I'll put the word out very, very soon, and many more to follow. But just to get your input in a way that's meaningful, in a way that can be impactful to what we're doing, to what I'm doing, and that's amplifying Black voices. In case you don't know, just to make sure we're clear. Well, over the weekend, if you live in the greater Cincinnati area, man, they say it comes in threes. The older folks. I don't know about you, but my roots are Southern, as I think most people are. My grandparents migrated from the South looking for a better way, and they found it here. My grandfather found it with a union job and was able to buy property, buy homes, plural, and to create a middle-class lifestyle for themselves and also for, his grandchildren, including myself. And I think that's pretty significant. And I remember, when you grow up with Southern folks, man, they got all these different sayings. And I remember I don't know who said it to me first, but they say they come in threes in terms of bad news or deaths. And if you live in the greater Cincinnati area, of course, it has. First, we found out about the tragic passing of Todd Portune. Todd Portune, white male Democrat, longtime public servant. He was currently a member of the Hamilton County Commissioners. Of course, many people understand there's a race going on right now for his seat. He stepped down. He named his longtime, assistant, Victoria Parks, Black female, to take over until the primary coming up in March or later in the general election in November. And we shall see. We talked to Kelly Prather, and we'll talk with Jill Schiller and Alicia Reese as well. But they are running for Todd Portune's seat. And I thought the Inquirer did a nice little piece in which they had all these different, they had like 40 different photographs of Todd Portune over the years. And it's quite, I used to call him Magnum. Back in the 90s when I first was introduced and knew what a Todd Portune was, it became kind of sort of like locally politically aware and started to care about city council and these kind of things. I used to call him Magnum. And I only got a chance to interview Todd maybe twice in my entire career, maybe 3 times, but I think it was twice. Once very early on and then another in commercial radio. And he was a very verbose man. I could tell that he wasn't afraid to talk about the disparities. And I'm sure, you can find somebody that'll hate on anybody. But generally speaking, the things I've heard about Todd Portune have always been positive for the most part. They found that he had tumors on his spine. I don't know what the survival rate is for that, tumors on your spine. And he lost a limb and was fighting it until, Again, the thing about this weekend is I'm reminded is that death is going to come for every one of us. That should give you a sense of fearlessness because one day you're going to die. I'm going to die. You're going to die. Everyone that you know is going to die. That's the truth. We're here right now. And what happens when you die? What happens when you die? I'm a big believer that there is something that happens after this plane of existence. I mean, if you look at it from a logical and scientific standpoint, what is our soul but other than energy? And just the basics of science and energy dictates that energy doesn't die. It just transforms. So our soul, that energy, that whatever that makes us us and makes this flesh into anything significant, it doesn't just dissipate. It just transforms. And Todd, along with all the other folks who have already passed away, they've just made the transition before us. So Todd Portune passed away. Judge Nathaniel Jones, local civil rights icon. A lot of people say great things about Nathaniel Jones. African-American. He passed away. And again, I never really had a lot of interaction with Nathaniel Jones. I've heard about his work. I've heard about what he stood for, but I don't really have any personal connection. Never had really a personal connection with the brother. but people are saying great things. And, of course, the tragedy of Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant, dead at 41. He, along with 8 other people, perished in a helicopter crash. And even more tragically, his young daughter, Gigi, who was on the plane with him, died with her father. Now, I just want to take a moment because, I think the media will miss this, but I've seen all these images and these videos of these ball players in the NFL, in the NBA, who've been sort of paying their respects and talking about Kobe Bryant, like all of them. And a lot of them will say things like, well, I'm a father too. And as a father, I'm thinking, damn, like I'm looking at it a couple ways. I'm looking at it like, see, one reason why everybody's so shocked about Kobe is because Kobe, through sheer force of will, was really good at convincing everybody in the world that he was invincible. Couldn't nobody tell you that Kobe wasn't invincible. Someone sent me the video of what appears to be the actual plane, the helicopter, and it's actually crashing. And then you see a plume of fire and smoke. And it was kind of known, but more well known within the last 24 hours. Because I heard the news, ironically enough, on the basketball court yesterday at 10 a.m. My son is kicking off his athletic endeavor playing b-ball. So he's in a little 5-year-old, 6-year-old b-ball. He don't know what he's doing, but he will. At this point, his father just wants him to condition, get the basics. He'll be tight. So I'm sitting there with the other parents, and we oohing and ahhing and gushing. And you know what you're doing when you go to 5-year-old basketball. You know what you're doing. And, somebody says, oh, Kobe Bryant died. I ain't really paid fucking attention to it. I'm like, yeah, okay, watching my son. And because I'm a digital citizen, I can't get away from my phone if I wanted to. And I was just sort of monitoring what was happening and, seeing what people were talking about. All of a sudden, I started getting all these from credible news sources, information that Kobe Bryant was dead. At first, I thought, man, here we go with the internet. Stop playing with me. That was the first thing I thought. Stop playing with me, y'all. And I'll be honest with you, the way I felt about Kobe as an athlete hasn't changed. And Kobe wasn't some super on some black shit either. He wasn't super on the black, gotta represent for black. He was just on some, this is what I'm doing, and I'm trying to be the best at it, period. And that's what people took from that Mamba mentality, because he started this whole thing now, the Mamba mentality. And so you may not play basketball, but you can apply the so-called Mamba mentality to whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it's, and I think that's why people really like Kobe. I think that's one of the reasons why. And they respect, he was young. 41 with his young daughter. She's 13, I believe, 9 or 13, one of those ages. And just a real tragedy. 9 people died. They were on their way to a basketball game for her. There were 2 of her teammates, along with the parents, mothers. One was the mother, one was the father. They all perished as well. And it's just very, very sad, man. Very, very sad. And just the whole totality of it. And for me, ever since that's happening, man, I'm looking at the wifey. I'm hugging her a little tighter. I'm looking at my children, hugging them a little tighter. And just realizing that our time here is short than a motherfucker. You don't have a lot of time. We do not have a lot of time. It's a wrap. There is not a lot of time. And now Kobe Bryant joins a macabre list of celebrities who have died, either celebrities or athletes who have died in a plane or helicopter crash. Roy Halladay back in 2017, Hall of Fame pitcher, his private plane, while flying off the coast of Florida, crashed into the Gulf of Mexico. Don't forget Corey Lytle, 2006. He was a Yankees pitcher, private plane. He was the co-pilot, crashed into an apartment building in Manhattan. Now, sidebar when it comes to Kobe, because I do have some facts for you in terms of what's went down there. This may or may not be on your radar screen. Maybe you know this stuff, maybe you don't. But the pilot's name was a man named Ayazo Banyan. He's Armenian, 50 years old. Apparently, he had a long-term relationship with the Bryant family and was quite affectionate. I also read that Rob Pelinka, who was currently the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, but longtime representative for Kobe Bryant, he put a statement out many years ago saying that he had like a near-death experience flying with Kobe. Because when you've got money, see, money is time, but when you have money, you want more of your time. And so if you're Kobe Bryant and you live 2 hours away from Staples Center, you don't want to drive. You don't want to drive. You want to get in the airplane. You want to helicopter it. Why? Because you don't have to worry about all the lights and the traffic and all that kind of stuff. So Kobe's just skirting around. This is what wealthy people do. There's people in the greater Cincinnati area that's got private planes out of Lunken. They're the same thing. Private helicopters. Like if you got to pop up to Columbus, you're probably going to get on the road. There's some people that get in the air. Yeah, they helicopter it. Aaliyah, 2001, R&B singer. Remember that? 9 people died when her private plane crashed. What's up with these private planes and these private helicopters? Remember they were shooting a video down the Bahamas? That was sad. Like, this was similar. Like, when Aaliyah died in 2001, I was like, what? Where's R. Kelly? What did he do? That was a shocker right there because she seemed like she was a young sister that was on the rise, right? John F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, back in 1999. That was a big one. Private plane that he was piloting. It crashed near Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. I mean, the list goes on and on. Roberto Clemente, 1972, that's most significant. Hall of Fame Pittsburgh Pirate outfielder was killed in a crash between San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Nicaragua. What was he doing? Humanitarian work. He was trying to assist the victims of an earthquake. The Marshall University football team, 1970, 36 players were killed in a crash in Huntington, West Virginia. I mean, I could go on and on. Rocky Marciano. Tragic list. Very, very tragic. So that was some of the tragedy over the weekend. Okay. But back on Friday, let me tell you how the weekend started. So I'm down at Copa celebrating the birthday of Donnie B, hanging out. We having a good time. We talking. We chilling. There's music in the air. Black folks is smiling. Everybody's having a good time, right? Now, when I walked in, it was sparsely crowded, and I didn't really see J. Raj. I did run into to Robert Anthony. Shout out to the big homie Robert Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Mic drop. And I'm talking to Donnie B. All of a sudden, 5-0 rolls in. Deep. They got the vest on. You got, uniform officers, plainclothes officers. I mean, I saw like 8 off the top. Now, what was interesting is as you drove up, I'm looking for parking, and right there on Sycamore in front of Copa, or at least on the Sycamore side, all of that parking had some kind of, when the city like tells you can't park somewhere, all of that was like already occupied. I'm like, what the hell? You can do that? Yes, you can. You see it all the time, like they're doing repairs or for whatever reason. I thought it was kind of odd later on because that's exactly where the police cruisers were all parked. So we in there and, police come in there. I'm like, okay, all right. I ain't got no warrants, so I ain't really worried about it. Okay, police come in here, no problem. And all of a sudden they start saying something to people. And then they come over to us like, yeah, we want y'all to roll out. You got to leave. Oh, we got to leave? Then I started recording and put the video up. That video's been seen by like 4,000 people already. 4,000 views already. Looks like I might have missed a call this morning. No, I didn't. It was another call. It was a personal call. And it's been seen by like 4. I haven't checked it since yesterday, but maybe like 3,000 or 4,000 people. Should be about 4,000 now. And, people were commenting and kind of find out, we like, well, so what's going on? I mean, they rolling here like they looking for drugs or something. I don't know what they looking for. They rolled in like that. And we are looking around, so we decided to roll out, let them finish their little business, and we'll holler at you. And kind of find out, and as I'm walking out, somebody has spray painted "fuck J-Raj," like right there, like I guess it would be like in between the treehouse and like OTR Live. I don't know if they're aware of it. You know, my patrons, I've shot a photograph, and you can check it out for yourself if you're on that patron feed. $2 a month, that's all I'm asking for. To support independent media, new black media here in the city of Cincinnati. And I don't know who posted that. I guess some hater. Like, who would post that on? I probably 9 times out of 10, I bet you was a black person that did that. Bet you was a black person. Anyway, gonna find out because J-Raj, who's an African American, he's the owner of that particular cluster of bars. That it was something minor, like they didn't have some piece of paper supposed to be up, and then they had like some water in a cooler or something like that. I guess these are health inspection violations, or like, I mean, if you're supposed to have the whatever up on the wall, you should have it up on the wall. You know what I'm saying? And it's fair to ask, if it's something so small, then why hasn't it been done? But to me, as a citizen, in terms of all this crime in the city, and you got a dozen officers down here because they didn't have a piece of paper on the wall and it was some water in a cooler. And that sounds like a great allocation of resources. To me, it does not. To me, it does not. And it's just so interesting that there was an article most recently in the Cincinnati Enquirer in which there was some kind of shooting at the Chalet, which is not even near there. But the article sort of lumps all these black bars together as if, you know, and we had some conversation later on about it, and people were sharing different viewpoints. But as if, you know, the problem with downtown Cincinnati are the black-owned bars. So if you follow that feed, if you missed it, you should go check it out. I mean, you know, nobody gets, you know, there's no action. There's a couple of brothers who obviously didn't want to be caught on video. It's hilarious. Like 2 brothers, like, put their hood on, right? Oh, dear Lord, I told her I was at work. And what was funny is, and I hate to point this out, but hey, I saw it. So there's a brother that, like, puts a hood on, right? He puts a hoodie on real quick when he saw me video recording. But then in the feed itself, somebody's like, hey, is that you? He was like, nope. I click on him. It's him. I hope I ain't dry snitching. I ain't mean to. I just thought it was hilarious. So that was my weekend. So Friday with a bang. And in terms of what happened, a lot of question marks. People are saying harassment. J-Rod said harassment on that feed. You know what I'm saying? He said harassment. And to me, that's a heavy hand. So they're supposed to have a piece of paper up that says whatever it's supposed to say. And then it has some water in the cooler, or the cooler is in the water or something like that. And it takes a dozen officers? Shouldn't y'all be somewhere where somebody got shot? We got too many unsolved murders. Now I know why. Now I know why we can't solve these damn murders. Now I know why. Now I know why. Because perhaps we're not allocating the resources the way they should be. So I don't know. I mean, I do know that there was some concern that perhaps people would think that COPA was shut down. COPA is not shut down. It was not shut down. I updated it because I wanted to make sure that people didn't think it was closed. But think about that. I mean, I don't know what time it was. I don't know. Somewhere between, 6 and 7, I want to say. Maybe a little bit after that. And I don't know. I mean, on a Friday night, I mean, is that a good time for people to come in? I mean, that's like the end of happy hour, right? And so here you are on a happy hour on a Friday. The police ask you to totally evacuate your entire clientele. I mean, how much money did J-Raj lose in that hour or two? Let me think about that. See, nobody wants to think about that. That's lost revenue. People were buying drinks. I was buying drinks. I was about to buy some drinks. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a chance to, but I was about to. Damn. Black man can't have nothing. That's what people were saying on that feed. Black man can't have nothing. Could be that. People are like, oh, that's a really, think about what J-Raj got down there. That's prime real estate. And I would say so. If you go down there when the weather is good, Friday night, especially a Saturday night, between like 12 and 2, man, it's super dumb, stupid, pathetic thick down there. Super thick, creamy peanut butter thick down there. Black folks, white folks, stumbling in and out, buying, having a good time. All the stuff we used to do. Still do. Let me throw a number out to the ether in case you forgot. 513-873-7134. Now, going back to Kobe Bryant, there's at least one member of the media that's under fire for some comments that she made on TV. Some people are saying she used the N-word. I've got the audio clip. We'll decide. Who better to decide these things than black people? We should decide. Speaking of deciding, what do you think the impact, and again, I don't mean to be macabre or disrespectful in any way, but I have to do what I have to do. But what do you think the impact of the passing of Todd Portune will be ultimately in terms of the Hamilton County Commissioner's race? What do you think that's going to be? Because he did make an endorsement. He did make an endorsement. And do you think now that he has passed, that endorsement will be even more influential, right? He endorsed Connie Pillage, white female Democrat in that race. Her opponents are both African-American females, both African-American female Democrats. And I would have to say yes. I don't know if I'm not saying this hands her the race or anything. I'm just talking about this particular part of it, if you're down for such a conversation. So let me take a quick pause because we're almost at the 8:30 a.m. hour. And as we go into the break, here are some of the athletes, some of the folks that knew Kobe Bryant, that interacted with Kobe Bryant, sharing their thoughts about him.
I was on the way to the arena when I got the news. I just sent my prayers to his family. You just hate to see what happened to him and his daughter. You just hope the world would give the Bryant family all the support they need.
Was it difficult coming out here to play today because of the news?
At first, it was a little difficult. Couldn't focus at first. One of the greatest taken away from us too soon. But his impact will forever be a part of this game. He's a legend. Legends never die, so, he will forever be remembered.
He's obviously one of the hardest workers the game's ever seen, one of the greatest players the game's ever seen, and he's also a great father. I really don't know what to say, man. It was hard for me to play today. I'm just glad we got to win.
Do you have a favorite moment or maybe an interaction you had with Kobe that kind of stands out with you?
I didn't meet him until my rookie year, but just growing up, he's on the TV all the time. Everybody wants to be Kobe, shooting shots in the trash can, when you're a little kid in school yelling Kobe. So, his influence on everybody is, tremendous.
Just knowing him personally, I know he'd have wanted me to come out here and try to ball and, still just be great. So, that's what I tried to do tonight.
Can you describe the mood amongst your teammates?
Everybody's sad, you know what I mean? Words can explain his impact he had on this floor. The emotional impact he had on everybody, you know what I mean? We're a team from L.A., so we know L.A.'s history with him. And, it's just sad.
It seemed like both teams tonight, both the Clippers and the Magic, came out a little out of sorts, probably because of the news today. What was the key in getting you guys to recover and to win this game and end the road trip on a positive?
Before the game, we ran out the clock 24 seconds, for Kobe, and then they got to have court violation 8 seconds to do a tribute towards him. So, just things like that would just, keep the game out of whack. And, like I said, just, you end up getting your adrenaline running, and you just got to play basketball. It's our job. But, it's sad. He's going to be missed.
We got it, I think, as I was walking into the arena. So, again, just for me being from L.A. and growing up watching him and being a Laker fan growing up.
And I think that
for the coach,
the double whammy is that he lost his daughter as well. And I think it's why, there's people, man, I think there's people all over the world who are mourning the death of Kobe Bryant. And I think it's about basketball, but I think it's because of that whole Mamba mentality thing. Plus, you lose your daughter. You know, he had 4 daughters. I think I posted somewhere that he had 2 daughters. He has 4 daughters. His second oldest daughter, Gigi, is the daughter who was with him, I believe, in the airplane. I'm sorry, in the helicopter. I want to keep saying airplane, in the helicopter. How many people have ever ridden in a helicopter? Yeah. Uber wants you to ride in a helicopter. I'll tell you all about that. Yeah, you might call an Uber one day and it's an Uber helicopter. I'm not making it up. Stay tuned. I'll tell you all about it. 513-873.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report.
We'll get to it in a second. 513-873-7134. Again, that is my number. If you want to share your thoughts, I'm going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, powered by Sin Digital Media.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. A Cape Town, South African asset management firm plans to boost its black ownership. Future Growth manages fixed interest assets worth $13 billion. Since the end of the apartheid, South Africa's government passed legislation and worked with companies to boost black involvement in the economy to make up for the discrimination during whites-only rule. But the country still remains one of the world's most unequal nations. The fastest growing vegan demographic is African Americans, according to the latest Gallup poll. And the late Maryland Congressman Elijah Cummings was working on a memoir at the time of his death that's scheduled to come out this summer. The book is called We're Better Than This, and it offers a perspective on how his upbringing laid the foundation of a life spent fighting for justice. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. I'm Paul George. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke F-A-S-T. Fast. Life is why. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
All right, hopefully that was quick. Welcome back. Nate Ivey in the air chair, NathanIvey.com, Sin Digital Media. Hey, listen, if you haven't already done so, go over to our Facebook page and check out our latest podcast. Check out the Donnie B Show. She was live and back on in good form on Friday. She made some excellent points about Tamaya Denard and the fact that someone was trying to serve her some official court documents, summons, while she was at her place of business, Donnie B made an excellent point that the only time you would try to do something like that is if you're trying to embarrass the individual. And people try to say that Tamaya Denard ran away or was trying to not. That's not true. She was just hooking up with her lawyer. She took care of everything by Friday afternoon, as I understand it, including some of the court appearances or a court appearance that she's supposed to have, I think, coming up tomorrow. That's all been taken care of. And Donnie B made the great point that it's like there's a lot of different ways to serve somebody. You can just put it in the mail. But no, you want to be all super dramatic. I'm telling you, this is the Republican establishment trying to tear down what they see are future local leaders. That's all it is. If they felt as if Tamaya Denard was ineffective, they wouldn't give a damn. If they felt as if she was ineffective and had no influence, they wouldn't be going to such lengths to try to discredit her. Some people even suggested that maybe she should run for mayor. I can dig it. I can see it. I can see it. And so then, I mean, that's the best way to stop. Stop them before they get started. And it just seemed like, again, a whole lot of drama. And then how did the media know? How did the media know? Again, Donnie B made this point as well. You can check it out on the Is It Just Me podcast. It's up and circulating. But go to CIN Digital Media on Facebook. You can check it out for yourself. It's a live stream show. And she made the excellent point that it's like, well, how did the media know that she was going to be served? Tracy from Cincinnati's calling us. How did they know? That's an excellent point. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning, Tracy. Welcome to the show. Hey, good morning, Tracy.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. It's like the phone muted out.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Hey, good morning. What's going on?
Good morning. I wanted to talk this morning about, hold on, let me go outside and see if I can get rid of this feedback. I'm sorry. I wanted to talk this morning about what seems to be irresponsible reporting, because I'm just highly annoyed at what TMZ did. And I get it, the media wants to be the first to break the story or whatever, but to break this story and the families weren't even notified is just crazy. His wife, his children, his parents, the other families that were involved. Not just that, when they started saying that Rick Fox could have possibly been on the helicopter, it was just totally irresponsible. And you know how, when it's put out there, it just spreads like wildfire. I wasn't at home and I got the story and I called my husband. My husband told my son, but my other son was at work and he came home and he was a mess. This whole story yesterday also let me know how, I've prepared my kids for life, but not for death, because my kids took it really hard. And my oldest son was almost inconsolable. And we just have to reiterate to our children that death is a part of life. And while it's hard to understand, we just have to trust God's plan. But, I was just really taken aback and annoyed at the irresponsibility of TMZ. I've lost a lot of respect for them, and I just don't know where they go from here.
How are they irresponsible, Tracy?
Say they'll boycott or whatever, but
are people saying that?
Stick to it because the next latest and greatest story will be coming out. But it just really pissed me off yesterday because it just lacked respect and responsibility for everybody that was involved.
What did they do that ticked you off?
They released the story without before it was confirmed by the local authorities. They just put it out there. Kobe Bryant was on the plane.
Yeah, but they got it right.
You go to the official report, they even blasted TMZ because when they came out with their story and they were on the scene, they said, we're not confirming anything until the family has been notified, and shame on TMZ for rushing this story out here.
Yeah, but they were right,
That's
though.
exactly what they did.
Yeah, but Tracy, but they were right. TMZ was right. It doesn't
matter if they were right. I could be right saying that something happened to your family, but if you don't know and the family finds out by pulling up TMZ, what the fuck? I mean, for real, you can't put that out there and not notify the family. Everybody wants to be first, and everybody wants to be, get all these clicks and likes, but his family was not notified. None of the families were notified. Who does that?
Well,
how do you put a story out there before the locals even confirm and they're down on the ground at the scene?
Well, they got it right, though. So it just means that TMZ sources were right. And in terms of the family,
so
if it was my family, I wouldn't like it.
Let's talk about compassion and sympathy. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean.
Let's talk about have a heart for some. It doesn't matter if you're right. You wouldn't want your wife to know that you were killed in a car accident because some media outlet, gossip media outlet, put it out there and nobody told her first.
You're right. And nobody would like that. But that's not the point, though. That's not the point.
Okay.
TMZ.
So you're going to defend the media because you're
TMZ did their job.
Nathan, I would like to believe that you have some heart, some compassion.
It's not about heart. It's not about heart. It's about It's about reporting the news. And at TMZ's level, it's about trying to get it out there first, which it sounds like they did.
How do you report something that hasn't been confirmed?
Well,
who's your source if the locals didn't confirm it?
Well, they could have had a source from bystanders right there at the scene. TMZ put a bounty out there for that kind of information.
There was Kobe Bryant in a ball of fire and ashes on the ground. Who saw that?
Well, somebody did, because that's how they got it right.
All I'm saying is you have to be responsible. You have to have sort of compassion and some empathy for somebody's family.
Not in that case.
That's what they lack.
Not in that case. In that case, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They put the story out there. They confirmed it. They got it right. Now, they had gotten it wrong. Then you can question their sources. But since they got it right, they were just first to it.
Let's be right over being compassionate and notifying somebody's family. I would not want to know that any family member of mine died because I just happened to surf the net.
Yeah, but what difference does it make, though?
They came and knocked at my door first.
Like, you take the emotion away. What difference does it make?
We're holding the name until the family has been notified. That's what people do.
Where they do that at? They used to do that. They don't do that anymore.
Okay, well, maybe you ought to turn on the TV because I hear it all the time. It still happens. 9, 5, 12, 19. It still happens. We're holding the name until the family has been identified.
Yeah, but this is Kobe Bryant. This ain't just some normal person that died, though. Tracy, this ain't just some normal person that died. This is Kobe Bryant. He's a globally known superstar. He's
still human, and he still has a family.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It does and it doesn't. It doesn't in the sense that they're human, you're right. But it does in the sense that he's a big name. And the media outlets are going to try to get out there first. They want to be right because that's the most important thing. But they're going to try to get out there first.
So they were also right when they said Rick Fox was possibly on the plane. That wasn't right.
That was wrong.
And what about his family?
That was wrong.
Come out and confirm that he wasn't on the plane.
And they're going to be relieved to hear that. When they see Rick Fox again, they're going to be very relieved.
Well, I guess it's more important to invoke panic and distress so you can be right. Than to have compassion and empathy for those family members. But I'm just going to leave it right there. Let it be known that Tracy said, and I'm not no big name, don't get me wrong. If something happens to me and you just hear about it, don't put it out there until my family is notified first. Just don't. That's how I feel about it today. But that's my little rant. So you have a good day.
Hey, great. Have a great day. Thank you for the rant. Bye. Tracy ain't playing. She said, look, you irresponsible media mofos, contact her family. What do you think? What do you think? Does she have a point? Do you agree with her? The reason why I say that they had to do it is because of who it was. It's like Michael Jordan. There are some names that you're talking about TMZ. That's what they do, number one. So you got to understand the outlet. That's what they do. They break current hot news. That's what they do. If you don't like it, don't go to their website. It's real simple. If you don't like it, don't go to their website. But that's what they do. They do the celebrity stuff. They do the who got shot, any celebrity, anything to do with any kind of celebrities, they all over it. That's what they do. That's their niche. So I'm not mad at them from doing what they do. You know, Whitney Houston died from cocaine overdose. They want to be the first one to tell you. That's what they do. Secondly, is it irresponsible to wait? I mean, it would be more compassionate. It would definitely be a sign of compassion for like these media outlets to wait until they somehow get confirmation from the family, which will come from a media outlet. See, at some point, somebody's going to be first. Kobe Bryant dies. Somebody's going to be first. And you can wait around if you want to. Oh, let's wait until we get a sign on Twitter from Vanessa. No one's doing that. They ain't doing that. And I wouldn't expect them to, quite honestly. I think the compassion comes from, number one, trying to get all the facts straight as possible, not speculating. That's the compassion. The compassion comes from, let's say you get a photograph of the mangled bodies and you don't post it. That's the compassion, right? That's the compassion from a media standpoint, but not talking about it, and you got to understand, TMZ has a vast network of people in California primarily. They have a bounty out there for those kind of stories. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, they might shoot you 10 grand. I'm not joking. So when you got a bounty like that, you got a network of people that's willing to call your little number and you know, they'll give you information. That's how they can be out there first. You know what I'm saying? That's why the reason why social media, the fastest social media, the most responsive media in the world is social media. Why? Because it's comprised of individuals with their phones just walking around. And the news reports, they can't travel faster than that. Because that's how they get their information. Somebody will call up ABC and say, hey, listen, I got some information. There's no difference between being TMZ. TMZ was probably first by 15 minutes. That's the other thing you got to understand here. In this age, the information is going to get out. The speculation is going to get out. It's all about who's going to get out first and who's going to try to get it accurate. So that's how we have to change. Again, we have to look at it with a different lens in terms of morality. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at the morality would come with, you know, they get somebody says, hey, I got some bodies of Gigi. I got a picture of her body. Now that would be a lack of compassion. They got a picture of Kobe Bryant's mangled torso wrapped around the fiberglass of the helicopter. Now we're talking about compassion. You know what I'm saying? Now that would not be compassionate. I would have a problem with that. But again, somebody's going to do it. All right, enough of me, more of you. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side Connection, Drop Squad 52, out here on the left coast, also known as the People's Republic of California. Mr. Ivy, I kind of agree with Tracy, but the fact is that's the times we live in right now. The internet is what it is. The media is what it is. And it's unfortunate that Rick Fox's name was in this story and he was not on the helicopter. That's the sad part. So that's the part I agree with Tracy on. But out here locally, when the story first broke around 10:30 a.m. our time, the media did not release any names. They really didn't even have a total count of how many people were on the actual helicopter. So it's just like I always say, Mr. Ivy, trust but verify anything that comes from the media, regardless of the type of media it is, because everyone, like Tracy said, is trying to be the first, the fastest, and the most to get a story out, especially when it's involving a celebrity like Kobe Bryant. So, Mr. Ivy, I see you had a great weekend with your son.
Yes.
In basketball. So I have a quick Kobe Bryant story. A friend of mine that referees high school basketball and AAU basketball, he me and him talked because I mentored him when he first came into the referee game. So I think it was about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he was refereeing girls basketball at an AAU game. So he calls me up and he's telling me this story. Turns out, Mr. Ivy, that he has a game with Kobe Bryant's daughter's team, which Kobe Bryant happens to be the head coach of his daughter, who was on the helicopter with him, of her basketball team, her AAU basketball team. She's 13 years old. And he was telling me how Kobe was all up in his stuff, yelling at him and screaming, blah, blah, blah. And then, we get the news that happened yesterday. So out here in California, Kobe Bryant is a living legend. But, Mr. Ivy, it's just a tragedy that it happened the way it happened. So I didn't really want to talk about that. And if you will allow me, can I change the subject to politics?
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Ivy, I was listening to some of the news shows over the weekend. And one particular show is the Jesse Jackson radio show, Keep Hope Alive. And the topic of the show was how there's going to be a record turnout for voters in 2020 for the upcoming presidential election on both sides. But they were speaking mainly for the Democrat voters. And the subject was, will local municipalities be able to handle the amount of voters that are expected to turn out for the presidential election? Now, Mr. Ivy, they're saying the question was, will black people or Democrat voters stand in line 2 hours? So, Mr. Ivy, the first thing I thought was, why would that be a topic when we have the whole impeachment thing going on? Why would they pick that topic? Then you hear Adam Schiff, who is the lead manager for the impeachment trial. He's telling America that the voters can't be trusted to vote Donald Trump out, and the impeachment must remove him from office. So, Mr. Ivy, with those two things and those two dynamics going on, why do you think people will show up if they're working, if they got food on the table, if they got money in their pocket, if the people that they vote for, the Democrat Party, and the people who support the Democrats, the media, are telling them that your vote doesn't count? The Russians are going to take your vote away. The Senate is going to take your vote away. The masses of people who are standing in line are going to take your vote away. All these things are going to happen. So that's the question I have, Mr. Ivy. Are the Democrat Party and their willing accomplice in the media conceding that after Donald Trump is acquitted in the Senate, probably this week, that they're conceding that they're going to lose the election and voter turnout is going to be an issue in the Democrat Party because we have a great economy, we have a gangster president who will not hold back. He will unleash on the Democrat Party and whoever the candidate is in 2020. So, Mr. Ivy, thank you for taking my call. I'll wait and listen to your response and the response from the
What's the
people
question
in the
again?
The question is, because the Democrat Party is telling the voters that the Russians are going to take your vote away, they're going to help Donald Trump cheat, local municipalities where you go vote, they're going to take your vote away by suppressing your vote, by not being able to handle the load and have people stand in long lines and possibly turn people away to vote. And then the Democrats in Washington telling you that you can't be trusted to go to the polls and vote Donald Trump out, and he has to remove him through impeachment. That's the question, Mr. Ivy. Will the Democrat Party blame their possible potential loss in 2020 to Donald Trump? Will they blame it on the black voters again, like they did in 2016?
I don't even know the relevancy of that question. I question it. I really do. But just to humor you, yeah,
Really?
how relevant is that question, though? I mean,
Mr. Ivy, did you hear Adam Schiff on the floor of the Senate?
Nah, I missed it. What did he say? What did he say again?
He said that they have to remove Donald Trump from office through impeachment because the voters cannot be trusted to
send me a link
vote
on that.
him out.
You know, send me. No, I missed that one. Send me a link on that.
Oh,
and he said it exactly like that.
I mean, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know it word for word, but it was all over.
Yeah, I think it's losing something in your translation there, because I don't know if he really said that. But again, send me the link, man. I'll check it out. I mean, if it's true, it's true.
It's true. It was on all the Sunday talk shows, Mr. Ivy. All of them. And again, even on the Jesse Jackson show. Okay, now granted, maybe a lot of people.
Who was the host of the Jesse Jackson show?
Keep Hope Alive.
Who was the host of that particular show you listened to?
What, say that again?
So when you were listening to the Jesse Jackson show, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was Jesse Jackson the host that day?
Well, Jesse, his daughter, Santita Jackson, she's the host.
She's the host, okay.
Jesse, Santita Jackson.
How old is she?
Is the host.
How old is she?
Oh, she's up there. She's around my age. She's in her early 50s.
Okay. I can see that.
And so Jesse's on the show, but, you know, Jesse's always had a difficulty enunciating words. So as he gets older, it's even harder to follow him. But because I've listened to him so much, I kind of understand what he says.
Okay.
But that was the topic of the show, Mr. Ivy.
The topic of the show was will black people do what again?
The topic of the show was that the so-called electoral experts are predicting a record historical turnout in 2020 for the presidential election. Therefore, meaning, can these local cities and states handle the amount of people that will be lining up to vote for the president?
I don't even like that question. I don't like that question.
Mr. Ivy, I know, but think about what happened when Barack Obama was elected in 2008, where he turned out, I think it was 98% of black voters, and there was lines. I mean, there were stories, people standing in line for 3 hours to vote. You remember all those stories.
Yeah, and again, we already know the answers to these questions. That's why I say I don't like it. Like, we always got to have the same old damn conversation. The answer to the question is quite simple. Some will, some won't. And it depends on how energized people are to get in there and vote. Period.
But, Mr. Ivy, I'm just reporting to you what I see and what I hear in the media, Mr. Ivy.
You're selectively reporting to me, yes.
No, I'm not. Okay, Roland Martin was on the Sunday talk shows.
Okay.
I mean, he's back in the mix.
Okay. Great.
So Google, I mean, listen to his segment on the show.
Okay.
But
what show was he on now?
Mr. Ivy.
What show was he on?
Huh?
What show was he on?
He was on This Week with George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, I'm gonna check him out. I like Roland. He's usually got good flow.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised to see him back. Yeah.
Oh, were you? No, I'm not surprised. He he's got a seat at the table on that particular show. So you said This Week.
Yeah, but he had. Yeah.
Was my girl
and again, Mr.
Yvette Simpson on?
No, she wasn't there. You know they're not gonna have. Well, I won't say that. I'm not gonna say it, but
pretty much did.
No. But Mr. Ivy, I'm just reporting what I see. I come on your show in the morning. I was in Arizona last week, so I didn't get a chance to call in, but
I appreciate it.
I got in the chop shop whenever I could. And Mr. Ivy, I'm just telling you what I'm observing right now, because the impeachment trial resumes today with the president's defense.
Oh,
they
good.
had a little bit. They gave America a taste on Saturday, but because they know nobody was watching on Saturday, they're going to save the bulk of their defense for today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. So again, Mr. Ivy, all the talk shows were talking about the 4 Republicans that will possibly vote with the Democrats to get witnesses. Now, Mr. Ivy, how much sense does it make to have witnesses when you already know the outcome is going to be acquittal? So there was one person that even mentioned that it's.
I mean, because that's the process, right? The process is bring the witnesses up. Republicans don't want to bring why don't you want to bring the witnesses up so people can hear firsthand? And I get why, because it makes the decision for these Republican senators a little bit more serious.
Well, Mr. Ivey, one of the theories that some of the experts are saying why the Senate Democrats are playing it this way is because they want to dirty up some of the vulnerable Republican senators that are up in 2020, so there's a slim chance that the Democrats could take control of the Senate and maintain control of the House, and then they will go after Trump once he's reelected in 2021 before the next midterm in 2022 and possibly remove him from office with another impeachment trial in 2021. So again, Mr. Ivey, this is what's
Is that
out
what Rush
there
Limbaugh
right
said?
No, see, there you go. Rush Limbaugh he didn't even have a show on Friday. Okay, so
okay.
I'm just telling you, Mr. Ivey.
All right.
Drop Squad 52. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Nobody wants to catch it. Thanks for the call, man. Nobody wants to catch that shit. Nobody wants to catch it. So I'm dropping science for anyone who wants to catch it. Nobody wants to catch it. Like catching the coronavirus. I found that's how you pronounce it, coronavirus.
Go! Get to the chopper!
See what happens when we go to the choppers? See what happens?
Go! Get to the chopper!
See? This is what happens when we get to the choppers. We get flows like that. And for folks who just heard that for the first time, he is an African-American man. He is. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Guy. How are you?
Hey, what up, buddy?
Not a whole lot. I'm getting feedback. Sorry. As far as you asked if anybody ever ride in a helicopter,
yes.
I did back in 2015.
Where'd you go? How long was it?
It was probably 30, 45 minutes. I had a cardiac event in Indiana, and the expressway was it was during rush hour. So they sent in a chopper to get me to University Hospital. And I didn't enjoy it one bit. Not because I was laid up, on the gurney, but because I was like looking, it's like, we're too close to these buildings. I don't like this at all. You know what I mean? It's just, you're just flying. You're flying, but you're flying too low. It's nothing like being in a plane. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're nowhere near the same. If I'm not mistaken, I put it on my Instagram. I know I put it on Instagram. I'm pretty sure I put it on one of my Twitter accounts too, way back then. I could, if I go back far enough, I'm sure I could find it. Me being loaded onto there. Yeah, they took me to UC Hospital. It was just unpleasant. I didn't enjoy it. But as far as this Kobe, this ordeal, this tragedy, being 43 now, this one is hit me worse than coming home from school, finding out Magic had AIDS or HIV and Biggie and Pac. This one hit harder, because Magic, 20 years older, he's old enough to be my dad. Biggie and Pac were about 4 or 5 years older. They're a little older than me, but this one, as being a dad and, recognizing your own mortality is somewhere, realizing that you've lived, probably more than likely lived more over half your life. It just kind of hit me a little different. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, let me get some shit together here. Make sure some loose ends are real tight right now, because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you said at the beginning, Kobe. I mean, everybody. We're all human, but he did kind of. Athletes. You just don't want to see nobody that young go like that. You know what I mean? Especially with those kids. There was 3 children on the plane. Kobe's daughter, the coach's daughter, the baseball coach's daughter, and another parent and her daughter. So there were 3 children on the plane. And, now that baseball coach is, he's got another daughter and a son. They're now orphans. You know what I mean? This one just hit me a little different. Like I'm not a crier, but I did feel some moisture welling up in the corners of my eyes, a couple times yesterday. Like, wow, man, this is like horrible. And Kobe, we watched him grow up on TV. Become a family man, and he was a big ambassador of women's basketball. I mean, he was a gym rat. If he's 6'6", if he was 5'6", he was still going to the NBA. That's all he knew. I couldn't see him doing anything else but being a basketball guy. You know what I mean? He was just one of those type of cats. Him, there's several of them, but, he was one of them that was just, I couldn't see him doing anything else. If he's a foot shorter, he still gets into the league because he's a gym rat. And like I said, it just seemed to hit me a little different than those other 3 celebrity tragedies that were in my life. Even Michael Jackson, again, he was another old cat to me. Even though he's the greatest entertainer that ever lived, he was still much older. It was like, okay, well, you got to go sometime. But with Kobe, this didn't feel like that. Kind of more felt like a wake-up call. And that woman, Allison, whatever her name is, from MSNBC.
Oh, who
Allison
mistakenly used the N-word?
I'm sorry?
Who mistakenly used the N-word?
Yeah, she said that.
Mm-hmm.
She got too many black
She
people.
said she stuttered.
First of all, okay, that's her excuse is so cockamamie. That's another reason to fire her. Because if your diction is that bad, you shouldn't be on national TV anyway. And and there was no need to mix up Knicks and Lakers. Kobe never played for another team, so you didn't know you didn't know the history of the subject you were covering well enough to be on TV talking about it. So that like I said, that cockamamie excuse that she gave is even more fodder to fire her. But we know what we heard. This isn't Laurel and Yanni. Remember that thing from the internet?
Right.
This isn't one of those cases. Like, we know what we heard. It's always y'all slipped up, like the Cincinnati police officers. Can I get my gun to go lock up some niggers? Talking about some, no, I said natives.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? No,
lying ass. I remember that.
Yeah, and then, same thing with Zimmerman. They told us they heard screams. No, that was a boy's scream. That was not the scream of a 28-year-old heavy-set male. That was a boy. That was a boy who hadn't got his man voice yet. That we heard in that little tussle. So they keep trying to play us like that. Like, nah, that ain't what you heard. That ain't what you heard. Quit. You know what I'm saying? This woman, she said niggers.
She said she said nakers.
Again, somebody said that she said earlier in that report she said he played for the Knicks. Kobe, again, like I said, you're not covering it. You're not versed enough in that subject to be covering it. You shouldn't have been on there anyway. Get out of here. If you confuse Kobe with the Knicks and Lakers, you didn't research the subject that you're covering enough. I don't care if you do work out of New York. But we're not going to act like there ain't white people that don't watch the NBA because it's too black, that don't watch baseball because it's too Latin. You know what I mean? Even George Will said that. The most conservative dude ever that's never been a politician, he said that about 10 years ago. He said if baseball's ratings are declining because all the best players' last name end with a Z.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So so we're not going to act like they ain't white people that don't watch, certain sports because it ain't white enough.
That just means that Larry Bird was right. That's why I appreciated Larry Bird. That's why I appreciated Larry Bird's words many years ago, back when he was a GM, and he said the league needs white players because white fans want to see themselves. People said he was being racist, but he was spot on.
Who you talking about, Danny Ferry?
That was Larry Bird.
Oh, okay. I thought Danny Ferry said something similar to that. I was caught up with something similar to that with the Hawks. with the Atlanta Hawks a couple years ago. But as far as TMZ, I mean, yeah, I was kind of upset when I realized, because like the way the sheriff said it, like, yeah, it's a pretty crappy way to find out your relative died on the internet before we could inform them. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. But at the same time, having been a journalist, I'm gonna have when I processed it, I realized, well, yeah, they got a job to do. It ain't necessarily,
Right.
They confirmed it and they ran with it. They're entitled to go with it.
And listen, everywhere Kobe probably ever went with his kids, he probably didn't pay for a damn thing. Because wherever he went, whether he was going to eat or to the barber shop or to pick up some, people were just happy to take pictures with him because of his celebrity. The other side of that is that when you pass tragically, TMZ might report it before the authorities do. That it all comes with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not about feelings. It is what it is. That's the life of a celebrity.
Somewhat like Tamaya Denard. It's the life of a politician. The other side's gonna embarrass you. When you mess up. When you getting summoned by the special prosecutor of a case that you're a unique part of. They're gonna send it to a place where they know they can find you. They figure it at home. You'll duck them, but you ain't gonna duck them at council. Or at least they didn't think you would.
Oh.
And
you just can't put it in the mail. They could have just put it in the mail. She probably would have responded the same way she did via her lawyer. So you're right. And then that's where it comes for us to be able to ascertain what's real and what's not, and not try to give too much substance to these political, schemes when they try to play the games with one another and stop legitimizing. So you're right. It all comes together that way.
But a summons, you don't. It has to be served up on you. Maybe the timing of getting the mail there would be better to just serve her in person. Serve her in person. So the guy drops the mail. You've been served, and he fills out some paperwork saying this was personally served upon so and so on this date at this time by, Nathan Ivey, process server. How did the media know? Who cares how they knew? I mean, they were there at council and probably seen the dude there with some paperwork in his hand and a badge, wondering who is he? Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's it's not. I mean, or somebody could have tipped them off. Who knows? But I just thought that was kind of a whack question, to be asking, just because I, like I said, I haven't been one. I know how that kind of stuff works.
Right. And you notice sometimes that's how the politically motivated games work. Like I said, I mean, it's up to the media, it's up to the public to decipher this. And if there's substance to it, it's cool. But if this is just some political game, it needs to be called out for what it is. And these are political games being played with Tamaya Denard.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm looking at
that was the point you said earlier, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So you're right. She's the victim of political games, and it's us to decipher it and call it out for what it is.
No, I don't think it's a political game because we don't know that a politician tipped the news off. Game is the game.
This whole thing goes back to the Gang of Five. Everybody knows this fame except for you. That was politically motivated by the local Republican Party. It was that's all. Okay.
I do know that. I do know that. I've never, if I did deny that, I haven't recently, just because of a conversation I had with somebody involved in it. Somebody intricately involved in it that I had with them on Twitter and off Twitter. So, but like I told you, I'm in favor of open records laws. If you mess them up, you need to get called out. Open records, open meetings, all that stuff. I mean, I don't pity no fools who want to trifle with that law. I don't care if text messages and emails were included in that law when it was written. It's an open record. You endanger yourself by messing around with it. So I don't know. I don't suffer these fools lightly on that. That's, I don't care what party they are. If they were, Republicans, most of your show would be rejoicing. Got their ass. Yeah. You know damn well that would be the case. But now that, like they say, I hate to use the cliche, but ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. So stop fronting, B. But that's all I got for you, man. I will holler at you at a future moon. Ow!
Oh, you got a nice little throaty one that time. Good. As to your last point about what you think I'd be talking about, you entitled to your opinion. I don't know. I have to wait and find out. You might be right. You might be wrong. 513-873-7134. So that's what happened. The game's being played. And it's up to the media and it's up for the people, as I said now for the third time, to figure out what's really going on. Is there something here or is this just some bullshit that they want us to think is something? And I'll tell you, man, the best BS is always the best way is to sprinkle some little bit of honey on the shit. That's always a little bit of truth to it. Oh, my God. Nothing better than that. I just posted a link to ARS Technica. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I go to this website a lot, but it did come up during a recent search. And speaking of helicopters, Uber, they're going to put taxis in the sky. Hyundai and Uber are teamed up to develop air taxis. And did you notice that you can do a helicopter in New York right now? You want to get off the island real quick? All you got to do is call you an Uber helicopter. Yes, you can get your helicopter ride anytime you want it. It's very easy. Yes, Uber's new helicopter service lets riders smile at the gridlock below. So you don't want to get all gridlocked in and you got, $500. They actually kicked this off last year, back in July. The initial service was between $200 and $225 per person, one way. And you could hop on the Uber helicopter and, go to JFK, right? You might be in Lower Manhattan. You want to go over to JFK Airport real quick, get an Uber copter. And they're working on it now because I just think logistically it worked for them in New York, but that's something that they might unveil anywhere. If they had Uber helicopter in Cincinnati, people would use it. They would use it just for the novelty, just because it might, just be cool to get off the helicopter. Or it might save you some time, depending on what it is. Like, depending on the time of day, if you're trying to go from, let's say, Westchester, and you want to go over to CVG, it might be hella faster for you to catch a helicopter, an Uber helicopter. Yes, get ready for it. Since we've been talking about helicopters, I thought it might be something that you might be interested in. Let's listen to what this reporter, her name is Allison Morris. Did she use a racial slur? Did she use a racial slur here?
Perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could.
Let's listen again.
No matter which team, which Lakers team he played on. Yeah, it seems like he was just the kind of athlete, the kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go.
All right, let's try it again. This is MSNBC. Her name is Allison Morrison, white female. And everyone's been talking about her comment. Let's listen to it one more time.
On the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita. Cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask. Perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you. Kind of athlete, the kind of star that was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita.
Now, sometimes, so for some announcers and broadcasters, everybody is wired differently, right? For some broadcasters and announcers, they should be very careful about what they say in their personal life. Because if you start saying some shit like the Los Angeles niggers, like if that's like a little joke that you and your friends tell a lot, that shit can get stuck in your brain. And so you find yourself in a moment on the air in which phonetically, right, you're remembering how you and your buddies was laughing at the Los Angeles niggers joke. It was just so funny. And now you find yourself, they call it a Freudian slip. That's kind of like a Freudian slip. You find yourself making a slip and saying some dumb shit. She claims that she was trying to say Knicks and Lakers, and she said Nakers. But I don't hear Nakers. I hear niggers.
Perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with us, we're going to go. On the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask.
I think that she might be in too deep with that particular job. Clearly, that is a slip of the tongue that should bring more attention. And really, the question is, what were you trying to say? That's the question, right?
On the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could.
Because nigger and nigger, just phonetically, I don't think it works out. She said she was trying to say Knicks and Lakers. That would be like Nakers. Nakers and Nick, that that's what I hear. And I hear see how we got to break this down? Let's listen one more time.
Cast on the Los Angeles Lakers. Kavita, if I could ask you to stay with.
My guess is she likes to tell racist jokes. And she found herself in a verbal scenario in which one of her jokes and something she's talking about were like, they kind of overlapped. And she thought she was like back with her little racist ass friends. I think she, at the very least, should be taken off the air for some time. At the very least. Because that's a hell of a slip. And here's the other thing before I get all talking about what should happen. Let me check myself. Wait a minute. Let's say she said I made a mistake. I was listening to Tupac, and it was nigga. I was listening to Future, nigga. It was everywhere, and I just got the N-word in my head. Is there something to that? I would say yes. There is something to that. Like if you listen to a lot of music and they use the N-word a lot, that shit might come out. It might come out in your speech involuntarily. That could happen. Now, can we give a pass to this non-black sister? In the sense that maybe was just a slip of the tongue. What's worse, the slip up or the lie and the cover up? Which is worse? Like if she came out and said, yeah, I was listening to Pac the other day, and I love to sing along with Pac, and it just slipped out. I apologize. Is that a fireable offense? She's like, I love Gucci, and I was listening to Gucci and Lil Wayne, and I was listening to 50, and it slipped out. Are we at a space in the black community where we can give her space? We can give her a pass on this? I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking at it from multiple levels. I'm not saying she deserves it because clearly she didn't say Nakers. This is not Nakers.
Cast on the Los Angeles Lakers.
It sounds like, to me, I'll say it again, it sounds like she's been telling racist jokes. If you tell racist jokes, you got to make sure your mind is really sharp because it's going to come out. It's going to come out in a weirder place. It has a greater possibility of coming out. The Los Angeles nigger, what the hell? I've never even put that phrase together. Like my brain is like, Los Angeles niggers? Who would say that? Now that sounds like some shit that racist white people would like get a little laugh out of. Let's be honest here. I'm glad that MF got HIV. Sleeping with all them white women, that's what you get. Speaking of Magic Johnson, not Kobe. Although Kobe did rape that woman. Let's not forget, he did rape a woman in Denver. ain't speaking ill of the dead, but I ain't changing my flows. I'm just saying. Ain't nobody, everybody in America is like, oh, Kobe, except for that woman who said that rape, that you know, she was like white female, I think, non-black. Apparently they was at the hotel, and she says Kobe basically forced himself on her. Wouldn't take no for an answer. Remember that? Hate to bring it up, but it's the real is real. Let me go to Google right now and see what Google will come up with. It's always interesting what Google does. They're trying to basically Google and the motherfuckers that giving you internet control everything. Let's be real. It's the real masters of the internet. Let's see, Kobe rape allegation. It was a trial and everything. This is just 6 hours ago. See, my mind, I'm all about it. My mind is in tune to what's happening here. I understand it. Los Angeles Times, 6 hours ago. What happened with Kobe Bryant's sexual assault case? I ain't speaking ill of the dead, but this is something that happened. You know what I'm saying? Take you back to 2004, May. They had pretrial hearings. Yeah, all kind of stuff. And then Kobe ended up paying her off. Remember that? Kobe is like, You remember when Kobe had to apologize to his wife? Because Kobe said he was having consensual sex with that woman. The woman said it was sexual assault. Remember that moment that Kobe got, and his wife got a big old rock. And I'm like, what? Did he really have to apologize in front of everybody? That's between you and your wife. You ain't got to apologize in front of everybody, but see, you had the whole sexual assault rape angle on it. It's not a good look. And Kobe said he was innocent from day one. Matter of fact, I've got audio. Check this out.
Should file charges unless the evidence is so strong that the case can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The evidence in this case falls far, far short of that standard. The accusations in this case cannot be proven because
my list of Kobe's greatest moments might be a little bit different than your list, because your list is probably all basketball related. Mine is not.
Guilty. He will request that this case be tried to a Colorado jury. His defense is that what happened on June 30th in Eagle County was a sexual encounter between two consenting adults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kobe had a little girlfriend, and then, I don't know. My spider sense tells me Kobe crossed the line, but you never know. I mean, these gold diggers be out here. Not saying no woman's a gold digger, but there's women that would love to sleep with a Kobe Bryant on the way up, and then you can claim something and then try to get a payout. It's called a hustle. And these ball players get hustled all the time because they ain't, I mean, come on, man. You're 22 years old. You're jumping out the gym. These women are telling you they'll do whatever you say. Some of these guys are weak. I get it. Ever since then, Kobe seemed to be the model of being, and, you know, his wife's got to give him a pass on that because Kobe's Bryant. He's Kobe Bryant. I said the same thing about Kevin Hart. You with one of these top flight black dudes, you got to give him a pass at least once. Okay? Everybody makes mistakes. You know, you're living a good lifestyle. It'll be okay. Wipe your tears with the dollar bills, boo. Better wipe them tears. Wipe them.
Get to the chopper! Go! Get to the chopper! Go! Get to the chopper!
Pamela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Clue Magic writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Brenda writes, good morning. Tracy writes, hi, we heard from her earlier. She is not happy at the media, primarily TMZ, and now maybe me, and that rhymes, so it must be true. Brian writes, good morning, hashtag 24, hashtag 8, hashtag 2. Tanika writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Pam
Get
writes,
to the chopper!
good morning, fam. Hey, my sis. Hey, good to see you, Pam. Heard you was moving away. Damn it. I'm glad you have six with the internet. We can stay connected, but damn. Mason Marler writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you.
I'm going to do a terrific show today.
CJ writes, good morning, all. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers.
Go!
Tanika writes,
Get to the chopper!
I'm talking to Pam. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. FG's in the house. I'm late, I know, with these comments over 90 minutes ago, but I'm going to catch up quickly. FG writes, good morning, good people. Karamia writes, great morning, people. Pat writes, good morning. Cassandra writes, good morning, Choppers.
Get to the chopper!
Mason Marler writes, RIP Judge Jones and Todd Portune. Brother Mazone writes, good morning, Choppers. Karamia writes, good morning to Pamela. Jared is in the house. He writes, buenos dias from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Hashtag Choppers. No, he didn't say hashtag Choppers. Choppers, hashtag Team and I. Hey, good to see you, Jared. You safe down there, man. And have a great time. Well, we down there saying one, what? Well,
You ready to shake up the world, radio man?
Spike Lee's Joints writes, good morning, Choppers. Still effed up over Kobe, but I'm here for the children. It's good to hear. Bryant writes, hug and kiss the people you love. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Karamia writes, spirits transform and reincarnate. Hey, what's up, black woman? Sorry about that. That dead air talking with the wifey. Sure left you with some music. Karamia writes, I think I read that. Brian writes, Todd Portune was the first of a city official to reach to my parents when my brother was murdered by CPD. In that, I will be forever grateful to him. R.I.P. Todd Portune. Oh, man, is that right? Is that right? Is that right? Yes, Todd Portune did pass away. I did not know. I didn't have any real connections with him at all, just from afar. But people say good things about him. And he will be missed. I think it's fair to say that. Jared writes, R.I.P. to everyone. Tanika writes, life is like a vapor. Live it like it's no tomorrow. You know what? Yeah. Deborah writes, good morning. Drop Squad writes, good morning, Choppers. Mike writes, rise and shine, young stars. Life is too short. Would you agree? Rest in power, Black Mamba, Nathaniel Jones, and Todd Portune. Spike Lee's Joint writes, the baseball coach, John Atabelli, had his wife and daughter with him on the chopper. They had a daughter and a son at home that are now orphans. We heard from him earlier, orphans. Corinthia writes, good morning. Long time, no chopper, LOL. Hey, good to see you, Corinthia. Same OG, you know we doing what we do, chopping it up. Cassandra writes, 2020 so far has not been kind. I was in Alabama last week, laying my mom's last sister to rest, praying for life, peace, and abundance for the rest of 2020. I hear that one. I hear that. Spike Lee writes, there was another mom on the chopper with her daughter who was a teammate, and the female coach of the team along with the pilot. Right, to this point, and this point was as of, let me see the article, it might have been updated since then, but I thought that at least two of them had yet to be identified. I could be wrong on that. The article I'm reading was from last night, so. Pam writes, Ray's in the house, she writes Grand Risings all. Brother Mazone writes, yeah, my wife told me, and I was like, nah, you must be mistaken for somebody else. So I go grab my phone. As soon as I Googled it, it came up. I was like, damn, it was true. Right then, I was stunned. I was sitting over at Walnut Hills in the high school gym on the visitor side, watching my son. Well, they were playing, some of the kids were playing basketball. He was playing catch, tag, run around. But And I get on my phone and like, man, I thought it was a joke at first. Like, man, people stop playing with me, yo. Stop playing with my emotions. And gonna find out it was true. And it did hit me hard as well. I had to analyze as to why. And the only thing I could come up with is two things that Fame, or maybe one thing that Fame touched upon, is that the way that they sell and the way that and I'm speaking of the NBA, the way that the NBA has been sold to my generation, it's like you grew up with Kobe. Like, you remember Kobe coming in the league when he had like the cool little Kobe fro, remember that? Little young buck who wasn't getting a lot of time. Listen, if you can do this, because it might be too emotional for you, but I got a chance to watch it. I've been watching it since yesterday and finished it off. One of my favorite podcasts right now is produced by Showtime, and it's called All the Smoke, starring Matt Barnes and Captain Steven Jackson. I like both of those brothers, man, and enjoy watching them ball, and their story has been interesting to me. They got a podcast where they talk to NBA players and just their unique positions in the NBA and who they were. They have some really interesting conversations if you're into that. The last conversation they had was with Kobe Bryant. It's a very intimate conversation, about an hour long, and you get a chance to see older Kobe talking about all those younger years and reminiscing. I thought it was a very intimate and very interesting conversation if you're into that. That might not be your flavor. I have several flavors. But if you're into that, there's a link on my Facebook page, but you could always go to their YouTube channel and check it out for yourself. Very interesting conversation. And, I thought that Jalen Rose said it best. He said it was a loss to humanity. And I agree. And it's because of the way that the NBA has been able to successfully broadcast these narratives and these ball players into our lives. If you remember when Kobe first came out, he's from the hip hop generation. He put out a hip hop album. Kobe Bryant put out a couple of albums, I believe. So, Kobe is very from my generation, like the Michael Jordan of my generation, in terms of not saying a particular significance to me, but just into the way he's been projected to where I live, into my TV screens, and turn on the channel, you can't get away from him. And then this whole Mamba mentality is such a capitalistic thing, right? It's a great vehicle to sell so many different things. The idea that he's a winner. And think about this. Kobe Bryant played, and just think about what it means to be a winner in the NBA. Kobe Bryant played 20 seasons. He won 5 rings. So that means 15 of those seasons, he came up short. He was a loser. So I don't know what that is. I have to do the numbers. But was it 20? So he had 5 rings in 20 years. So that means that 20% of the time, I'm wrong on that, get my math straight, he was a winner. 25% of the time, he was a winner. That's it. Just 25% of the time. Just think about that. But it's not like it's not like he was winning championships every year, but just think about, how we view success. We look at Kobe and say he is one of the champions. But most years, he wasn't winning shit. You know what I'm saying? But they prop those championships to be so special that just the number, not the percentage, is what really matters overall. But that Mamba mentality, as I understand it, means go hard in the paint. Come on now. No fear. Just go straight forward. And you can apply that to anything, and that's exactly what Kobe was doing with his different business interests. So I think that's how people look at him. They look at him as a player, and then a lot of people got caught up with the whole Mamba mentality. Oh, that's the edge of winning. Kobe Bryant coming in and getting paid $200,000 to tell top executives how to win. He don't know shit about their industry, but he's a winner. He's a winner. Mike Jones writes, Matt Barnes got custody of his kids for a while. When did Best, his wife? Not sure what you mean. Matt Barnes, huh? Didn't he beat his wife asking for a friend? No, he did not. No. I don't think he did. I know he got almost beat up by the police. I know that. But no, I know Matt Barnes beat up, as Mike is saying, Matt Barnes beat up Derek Fisher for creeping with his ex. I don't know if they were married, but the mother of his children. I mean, it's just a certain way you do things. You know what I'm saying? It never what you do, but how you do it. I see Cedric Denzer's in the house. He writes, good morning. Hey, Cedric, I want to catch up with you for an interview. I will be reaching out. Sharp writes, Nate, do you think it's a secret operation on black establishments to obtain their liquor license to help future FCC breweries? I think that there are people out there who, when they see a black man shining, will have a problem with it. And they'll try to find something wrong with it to bring it down. That's what I think. And I also think that there are some people who would be perfectly fine with there being no black-owned bars in downtown Cincinnati. They'd have no problem with it. And going back 10 years, there used to be a club in OTR called Club Dream, where dreams come true. And I got to know the owner. He was not an African-American, but he wasn't a European-American. I think he was from like Morocco or something like that. So I thought he was a brother. That's how I looked at him. I can't remember his name. And back then he would tell me about the pressure that he was getting as a non-white bar owner to close down. And they eventually did close down. I enjoyed the place there. I had a great time. Guess who I used to do a show, like a relationship show, live from the club. And guess who used to come down and do like a little two-man two-step? Little man two-step. FOH, Nate, I'm not obliged to give my husband a pass to cheat based on his income. It depends. It depends. I mean, let's be real here, Jericho. It depends. Like, if you're married to Kobe, young Kobe, and he's bringing you into the young Kobe lifestyle, then you got to get that man a pass. You just, I mean, it depends. Everything depends on the details and how you find out. But I mean, really, you're going to give up being with Kobe Bryant because he has some indiscretion with some woman? I don't believe that. I'm just being real with you. I don't believe you would do that. I think you would be like, you know what? You'll be pissed. You got to be right too. But you're going to give him a pass. I mean, look at your boy Kevin Hart. His wife gave him a pass, and we saw the video. He out here making pornos. Getting caught, doing family-friendly shows like Jumanji movies. He's still on Jumanji. He's probably on the set of Jumanji right now. So clearly, I'm not out there when I say that. I know it sounds like, oh, you can just let a man do whatever he wants to you. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, come on now. She wasn't leaving Kobe Bryant. He came out with a fat-ass ring. Remember that? His wife, Vanessa, had a big-ass ring after that. Yeah, tell us what happened, Kobe. Say something. You gonna say something?
I'm innocent. You know, I didn't force her to do anything against her will. I'm innocent.
Yeah, you are innocent. Yep. Because black men don't cheat. That's right. We represent for you, Kobe. Black men don't cheat. Pat writes, I remember. He did it. I was not a Kobe fan. However, his death is still tragic. Oh, very tragic. Very tragic. Kobe messed up when he sodomized that white woman. You were wrong, Mike Jones. Don't put sodomized. Is that like a legal term? I don't think they still use that term. So I guess they do. I don't even know what that means. I think I know what it means. It ain't good. Spike Lee writes, it's going to remain unbeaten, Cam, until we start marching and start busting heads and making them change laws. CG Dub writes, after she said it, she should have been like, damn, my bad. Yeah, what's worse, the fact that she said it or she's denying it like we're all dumb? Like, come on now. It's one thing to make a mistake.
matter which team.
It's another to tell me that I don't hear what I hear.
That was perfectly cast on the Los Angeles Lakers committee.
The Los Angeles niggers, yeah, It's perfectly cast on the, and she knows she made a mistake because you can hear it in her voice. You can hear, oh shit, oh lordy, are they going to reprimand me for this? I'm going to get reprimanded.
Los Angeles Lakers committee.
Yeah, you got it in. Oh boy, that's all you got to do to get into the secret white supremacist cult. We'll say the N-word on MSNBC. She's in. Next, you got to abduct some black children, a.k.a. adopt them, and then drive them off a cliff. Man. Jesse writes, that lady bragged about having sex with Kobe in the size of his D. Did she? Mason Marler writes, it's cheaper to keep her. Kobe knew what he was doing. Pamela writes, Nate, if he raped her, why did she bow out of the lawsuit? Not saying, because she paid him off. Kobe paid her off. Not saying he didn't, but what made her change her mind? Was it the payoff? Yeah, it was the payoff. We got $2 million. $2 million? Mike Davis writes, what we gonna do besides be mad? She said N-word, nigger. Nothing but be emotional. Lord forbid we unite our resources and destroy their whole system. Well, I mean, Mike, one thing we can do is support independent black media such as this. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that part of it is just exposing it. And who better to expose it than us? That's the purpose of it. That's one thing we can do. Wanda writes, morning, y'all. Morning, y'all, choppers. Good to see you. Clue Magic writes, did he rape her or did she have consensual sex, then tried to hit a lick? Tracy writes, when are people going to ever hit rewind on their TV and turn on the closed caption feature? Kobe writes, Kobe wasn't convicted of anything and the accuser took dough. Spike writes, she looks like a dyke. What? Who looks like a dyke? What does that mean? Pat writes, she said she can have her pass while sitting at home on her couch. She should be gone. People hate it when I tell the truth. Ray writes, had this been a Jewish slur, they would have called a commercial and a new host would have replaced her off the break. Oh, man. So what do you think MSNBC should do? I mean, should they fire her? Because clearly she said, see, my thing now is, number one, you saying an N-word in your head while you're on the air. And if you're saying an N-word in your head while you're on the air, that means you really started saying it off the air because you're going to spend more time off the air than on the air. So you walking around in your personal life using the N-word, now you're going to lie on top of it? I mean, the lie is just too much. She got to go. She got to go. That's what I would say. But what do you think is going to happen? Because we live in a world where I think the white female host who referred to her black co-host and said, he looks like you. Y'all both look like gorillas. He's like, yeah, I do. This little idiot. He's, oh, yeah, I do kind of look like him. You're both dark-skinned. No fool. Remember that? The morning anchor, she compared him to a gorilla. And then this fool sat there. He should have fired off on her right then, got her fired. All he had to do was be like, I'm pissed. And he trying to save face. And he ain't say shit. And then the very next day, she came back and apologized. And he took his moment to say something to her. And I thought what he said to her was some bullshit. But I thought it was, appropriate to the environment that the brother's in. He's trying to keep his job. I think she never got fired. I don't think that anchor ever got fired. What's her name? Allison? Always some ish. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. Just to jog your memory.
And check out this cute video that the OKC Zoo just posted.
Okay, you have to see this. This is Finn. We're about to show. Oh my goodness, take a look at him. He's a resident of the Oklahoma City Zoo. And this week, the zoo's ape caretaker took over their Instagram, and we are all loving that they did. And as you can see, Finn was fascinated.
Definitely ready for his close-up there.
Kind of looks like you. What do you take a picture?
It kind of does, actually, yeah. Very close to the camera.
He kind of does, actually. He kind of does, actually. Huh? In what way? Here, you got a suit on. Now, you can't see what I can see in the video. Right before she said it kind of looks like you, it was like an extreme close-up of a little baby gorilla. What it looked like is like the cameraman was like right up to the barbed wire. And, you know, the little gorilla was like, you know, I don't know, eating something and like super close to it. You know, the relationship that local news has with these local zoos, I think is obscene. Everybody else think it's family fun. I think it's the craziest ish ever. I mean, everybody goes crazy over Mike Vick, but it's nothing for the Cincinnati Zoo to report they had to kill an animal. Oh, we had to put, you know, Fiona down. Oh, we had to euthanize Fiona, but we did it humanely. Oh, okay. So you killed one of God's creatures humanely. How'd you do it? Way to go. But anyway, back to this. See, I kind of do look like him. Let's listen to this guy again. This is hilarious.
The resident of the Oklahoma City Zoo.
This is hilarious.
And this week, the zoo's ape caretaker took over their Instagram, and we are all loving that they did. And as you can see, Finn was fascinated.
Definitely ready for his close-up there.
Kind of looks like you. What do you take a picture?
It kind of does, actually, yeah. Very close to the camera.
I'm here this morning because I want to apologize, not only to my coworker, Jason, but to our entire community. I said something yesterday that was inconsiderate, it was inappropriate, and I hurt people. And I want you to know.
No, but you didn't hurt nobody, boo. And I hurt people. I'm hurt by this. No, I'm not hurt by the statement. I'm hurt they still got your fucking ass on TV. That's why I'm pissed. I'm hurt people. You didn't hurt anybody, boo. You don't have that kind of power. Stop it. I hurt people. No, you didn't. No, you just exposed yourself. That's what you just did. Hey, Shula writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. I watched a cartoon from 2016 that showed Kobe dying in a chopper crash. And I saw that as well. Yeah, apparently, and I've never seen the cartoon, but I mean, it's just so many forms of media out there these days. But apparently, you know, many years ago, back in 2016, there was some people did like a cartoon, like she said. And in the cartoon, it shows Kobe Bryant dying in a helicopter crash. I think it goes back to 2016. It was called Legends of Chamberlain Heights. I've never watched the video before, but clearly, I mean, some people are saying it's prophetic, but it was well known that Kobe took helicopters. Rob Pelinka, who is now the GM, former longtime rep agent for Kobe Bryant, he said in an interview many years ago that, you know, Kobe scared the shit out of him one day. Like literally, he defecated on himself. Literally, I'm paraphrasing, because Kobe had him up in in one of his little helicopters, and he told the pilot to do a military move. Now, don't that seem like some shit Kobe Bryant would do? Get you up there to see if you scared and shit. I'm scared. He up here doing military twists, rolls, and what is this, Top Gun? What was the name of that longtime television series? Was it Blue Wolf or some shit? Where they had the helicopters in the future or something? I don't know. I could be making it up, but it was well known that Kobe took helicopters. So it's not like a big stretch that he's been doing this for years, that somebody would make a cartoon and kind of do that. But I did think it was kind of creepy. I did see that. Spike writes, an eyewitness told the LA Times, quote, you could tell the chopper was struggling and flying low. white male. I think I've seen that. It might have been looking for a place to land. It didn't pancake. I think the blade hit the mountain. You heard a boom, then a fireball. Nobody could have survived that. Again, I saw a video, and if this video is in fact a video of what happened, I mean, nobody can survive that. Number one, it took, I won't say it took a nosedive, but it certainly was going straight down. So, and then all of a sudden you just see a fireball. And I mean, nobody's going to survive that. I'm sorry. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. Kevin on.
Hey, what up, Kevin on the cell?
Trying to make it, man. Never.
You're like in and out, Kev, on the cell. I can barely hear you.
Hold on a second. Let me make an adjustment real quick.
I think we got Black Brush. Let's see how that goes.
Is better right there?
Yeah, it does sound better, but let's see. See, it was kind of in and out, so let's see if we can keep a constant connection. But what's going on? What's on your mind?
I'm just trying to make it, man. My condolences to the family. I don't know if they're going to hear this, but since we're worldwide, maybe they will. Well, the thing about the gorilla thing, it throws me. I do think that people are just a little bit hyper emotional sometimes. She said the gorilla was cute. I guess she was saying dude was cute. I don't know. She probably shouldn't have said that on the air, and maybe she should lose her job. But it's really just not enough to care about for me. And I will tell the truth about that. What I am really thinking about right now, Nathan, is the fact that the president seems like he's going to get away with it, huh?
Well, yeah, he was always going to be acquitted. We know that because the Republicans have a majority in the Senate.
I don't mean acquitted because we knew he was going to get acquitted. I mean he's actually going to get away with it.
What do you mean? Get away with it?
A sitting president is going to have foreign interference, period, with our country, and it's going to be held up to still be a sitting president. How's that work, Nate?
Well, he's already done that. This is the second time around. The first time he did it when he beat the Mueller report because of his collusion with the Russians. Time. Right? So now this is the second time. Oh, this is the third time?
No, yeah, because the first time he did it was when he said something about grabbing and he got elected.
Right.
I'm sorry. That was the first time, and then there was like 46 other times in between, and then you had the Mueller report. And now you have this.
But see, that's because racism trumps sexism. That's what we learned with that. That was a great point you made, though. Like when he was able to say, I can grab him by the ussy and get away with it, that's because racism trumps sexism.
So I don't know if you heard this, but Mr. Biden said that the new what do you call it? The new, sorry. I'm having a senior moment.
The new Jim Crow?
No, he said the new civil rights is transgendered is the new civil rights situation. And I'm like, well, we ain't took care of the old civil rights situation, so right. I don't know how we can have a new one.
When did he say this? Did he say this recently?
Over the weekend, yeah.
I see this Biden right. There's no room for compromise on transgender rights. Well, man, I wouldn't say compromise, but at the very least, we need to have a conversation. We had to come to an agreement about what the boundaries are.
I think that they are, rights need to be preserved for everybody in the country, including the right for us as a group of sentient beings not to be placated or put to the side by this debacle that's going on in Washington right now. Again, this is an election year. Past all of the stupidness that's going on right now, the most important thing is that folks get out there and make a change you can believe in. You could choose any one of the slogans, campaign, rallies, songs, or cries, whatever it is, man. But what's happening right now should not be going on. And and very literally, I just feel like there's so many things that are distracting right now from the most important thing, truly, for us in this country, which is to make sure that we get out there and we make a change at the executive level, and now, well, not even and now, and also at the legislative level as well for our country, because the guy that's in control right now, the person that's in power, and he has a lot of power, honestly, is scary, to say the least. And I know you got little Buddha and Junior, and I've got my little princess. We can't take any shorts. We can't play around with this thing. Hit the streets, each one take 3. If you can get 3 of your neighbors and take them down to the polls with you, do that. Get in touch with your local churches, synagogues, religious organizations, mosques, and if they have vans or trucks or buses, we need to get them filled up with folks that normally couldn't get to the polls. We need to hit the streets and make sure that people are getting signed up, people are showing up, knock on some doors, let people know this is not a joke or a game. The last time this man won, because 20,000 people in Michigan probably didn't get up and go vote, right? And there were 50,000 somewhere else and 40,000 somewhere else. So these are not margins that are like huge margins. These aren't even the populations of major cities, right? We're talking about the populations of little towns. And so we need to make sure that folks get out and that they do the best that they can. All right. So that's my rant. And that's my rant, man. But, make that on every station across the nation. Let's keep this moving, though. I don't even know what to call it. The camouflage that's happening over in Washington, we just need to ignore that and move forward.
All right, brother, take it easy.
Be blessed, bro.
Yeah, most deaf. Same to you. Appreciate it. That's Kev on a sale. I think, was that Black Russia that was trying to give me a call earlier? If I missed your call, Black Russia, call me back, or whomever that was. Hold on here. I mean, just so you know, for people sending me messages during the show, like if you send me a text message, sometimes I can see it, sometimes I can't. But at this particular moment, I can. Let me check it out. I think this is important to put out here. I think it relates to Maya Denard as well. There is no grand jury tomorrow. It was all to discredit her. She wasn't even at City Hall. Her car was just parked there. That's about Tamaya Denard. Like I tell you, you can come up with any old excuse you want to. I'm not sure. Whoever's calling, call me on the 873-7134 number. It's very important you do so. 513-873-7134. All right. And, back to Tamaya Denard. Like I said, you can come up with any old excuse. If you don't like somebody and you're trying to find something, you can nitpick it to death, find minutia, split hairs, however you want to look at it. But to me, it just seems like a pattern of harassment that I've seen over the last week, right? And I'm wondering if this is harassment. I strongly believe it is. One with Tamaya Denard, this ongoing thing about these damn text messages that, people are trying to make some big deal out of. And I'll say it again. The best way to try to do something like this is when there's an element of truth. The 5 Democrats have already admitted that they were wrong. The city's paid a fine. They did the whole go before court. How much more do you want? Well, the political opponents of these individuals, they want it all. There are people out there who will not be happy until Tamaya Denard is not on city council. They don't want her on city council. Why? You got to ask yourself that. What's the nature of her votes? What does she represent? You have to understand that. It's very, very real. There was one more thing before we leave that I wanted to put out. I think we talked about everything. Man, R.I.P. They say it comes in 3's. That's what the elders say. Todd Portune. How will the death of Todd Portune impact the Hamilton County Commissioner's race? Okay. I'm also going to spend some time talking about the 33rd precinct as well. Why? Well, because shit, I mean, it seems to me like whoever wins that primary is a shoo-in in November. So the primary may be the race. We must discuss. I mean, who's better for the community? We will discuss. I'll be giving you tearless and fearless commentary. To give you a heads up, tearless and fearless. Also, Nathaniel Jones, Judge Nathaniel Jones, who's been called a civil rights icon. There's a lot of folks out there saying great things about him. I don't have any personal stories, connections. I don't believe I ever got a chance to interview him. Maybe I did and forgot. I think I would remember something like that. Maybe I was introduced to him once. I kind of vaguely remember. Maybe, but he passed away in the 96. What a great age. I hope I get to 96. That'll be a great life. Especially if I can stay and maintain health. Man, that would be great. 96. And then Kobe Bryant at 41 passed away. Tragic. And I think if he was sick, like if 10 years ago I would have told you that Kobe was going to die before Magic Johnson, who's HIV positive, you would have told me I was crazy. You'd have told me I was crazy. Who would have took me up on that wager? Did you see the images of LeBron James embracing his wife? The team found out while they were on the flight. He gets off and greets, I believe, his wife, and he's just hugging her. And he was probably, weeping. Michael Basin said it best, men cry in the dark, because yes, men cry too. I mean, there's a lot of dudes out there that teared up, especially if they have children. Because for me, the tragedy is magnified because I have children. Like I'm thinking, damn, if I wasn't here, who would do these things for my kids? They would be lost in so many ways. Of course, the wifey. But what if that was the wifey? What if that was my daughter? That's real life right there. So for me, what I take to it is just a renewed sense of fearlessness, because we're all going to die one day anyway. So it don't really matter what these mofos on this rock think about you. The other thing is, think about this. Kobe Bryant had all that wealth, estimated between $100 and $400 million. Wealth. And none of that saved him. That plane was subject to the same laws of physics as it would be you and me. So, I mean, just be careful about what you're really building. What's really important? Like, money's important. I want to leave money for my children because I know that's what they need to make moves. You know what I'm saying? To navigate this world. Oh, man, I'm on Facebook right now, and people are still just putting up great things. Shout out to Michelle Obama for winning her first Grammy. And oh, by the way, fuck the Grammys. Isn't that what P. Diddy and the boys said? They had a big Rock Nation sort of get together. And P. Diddy said, F the Grammys. He said, F the Grammys. Grammy what? We got a late call. Let's take it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
Hey, good morning.
Man.
Black Russian.
It's a sad day, man. I found out about Kobe in the theater while watching Bad Boys for Life.
How was that, by the way?
It was pretty good. I suggest going to see it at the theater. Don't wait for Fire Stick, because Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are great actors and deserve our dollars.
Okay, I can dig it.
But, Kobe is one of those transcendent athletes that come around once every generation. And for him to go at 41, it's unfortunate. And his daughter. Did you see any video of his daughter hooping, by the way?
Yeah, I've seen many videos. Yep. I know she has skills.
Yeah, she was hard. But Kobe, his legend's only going to grow. Like, I know that LeBron just passed him on the points list all the time, but I don't see in any way, shape, or form how LeBron passes Kobe as far as one of the greats. Because he's now chasing the ghost for real.
And what does that mean for, they're going to dedicate the rest of the season to Kobe.
Right.
Right. You can get ready for that. As a matter of fact, the very next game is in LA. It's Clippers versus Lakers on Tuesday, tomorrow.
Ooh.
So, that's going to be a big game. Kobe, it's the house that Kobe built. That's going to be big, very emotional.
No question.
I think if LeBron gets as many rings as Kobe, he'll pass him. But you're right. Now that he's dead,
get 3 more.
I think if he gets 5 rings, then I think the world will look at him as being on par or if not better. But he's got to have at least 5 rings.
Get 2 in LA. Yeah, I could. The argument could be made at that point because he didn't want 2 in LA. LA loves a winner.
Mm-hmm. He would have won championships in 3 different cities, 3 different markets.
Right. Yeah. That's be impressive. The winner East and the West. But yeah, man, it took me a minute. Like, my lady had to kind of grab me and tell me to leave the movie because I found out because my phone was going off and I was like, who's calling me in the movie? I'm not answering my phone till the movie's over. So the movie got off and I get all these messages about Kobe. I just had to sit there for a minute. I almost cried. I didn't cry, but I almost did.
Yeah,
because I remember Kobe got me through college.
Yeah, again, the way they market these ball players to our generation, it's like you grew up with them. It's like the significant moments of his career is the way that you even mark time. You know what I'm saying? They're very good at that.
Right.
They're very good at projecting into our life and making it feel like it's important and connecting with you. And even afterward, man, him and his family, and then even the stuff with the whole sexual assault. All of that goes into play into how people perceive you. Like, yeah, he had a low point, but then the high point is right now where he seems to have this great relationship with his wife and his daughters. And I think people love you when you're imperfect. They like you more when you're imperfect. So I think all over the world, people are mourning.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where, people are shocked. Kobe's going to go down as one of the all-time greats, and I'm just, it's tragic that happened. By the way, that video, I did watch that video of the chopper crashing. That's not the video.
That's not the video. Okay, great.
That is not the video. Because you look at the background and where the actual fire's at versus the video. It looked like the video, with a crash on YouTube got like red mountains. You know what I'm saying? So the background looked different. They said he had a black helicopter. People just put anything out. My lady said the same thing about Tracy. Like, Dad, TMZ, broke the story to the family of Kobe Bryant before the authorities. It's unfortunate, but Drop said it. That's the time we live in. Like, TMZ is the top-notch go-to people when it comes to stories like this. They gonna get it before anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's his name. It's a Harvey Levin. That guy, I don't know where he gets his sources from, but he got the inside.
Mm-hmm. Well, he got a gang of. They got a bounty. They got a bounty. Depending on the nature of the story, man, you can walk around with a stack or two, real easy. And so when you got that kind of relationship and you got people out there, and then Hollywood is only so big. I'm not surprised that TMZ got the story first at all, if in fact that's what happened.
Yeah, they out there in California too, so he got more people in California on the ground than anywhere. So, that's how they ended Ray Rice. He got that video at a hotel.
That's exactly what happened with Ray Rice, right? Mm-hmm. And see, TMZ was just
cool.
Again, that's not something that the ABC and MSNBC, they got the same folks. They got people out there, they'll pay you for stories and people call them, but TMZ they folks was closer and they was faster. So, And again, that just comes with it. Like I said, everywhere Kobe Bryant went with his daughters, they probably didn't pay for shit. Wealthy as hell, can pay for anything, but who's going to make Kobe Bryant pay? Nah, Mr. Bryant, come on in here. The other side of that is that when Kobe dies, people like TMZ going to try to put the story out there. They don't really know what the family knows. It don't really matter. They just trying to be first.
Right.
That's all it is. They want to be out there.
That's what it's about. Yep, no question. They want to be first, and they want to be the people who say, yeah, we broke the story. You know, we got Kobe Bryant dead. You know, and it's unfortunate. That's the society we live in, but that's the game. And I mean, who don't want to be first to that story? You know, but you know, Kobe, rest in peace, man. That was closest thing to Jordan we'll ever see.
Yeah. I think so too, because I mean, Jordan's now retired, so this new generation is not watching him right the way they would have when Kobe was coming up. That's all you could watch was Jordan.
Right.
So no, there's going to be no more Jordan clones. You know, that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't gonna happen, man. But you know, it's just one of those weekends where, you know, death came in threes. You know, it was crazy. I was telling my friends that morning once we found out that Judge Jones died. I said, you know, it comes in threes. Somebody gonna pop up next, and nobody like who's it gonna be? Nobody thought who was gonna be. It ended up being Kobe. That's just it's messed up.
Of all people. Hey, before you roll, man, what's your take on Todd Portune passing? Will his endorsement now carry more weight for Connie Pillage?
I think it's going to probably carry some weight in the suburbs, but I don't think in the city. I think Alicia Reese got the city on lock. So, you know, it's just, you know, like Blue Ash and Montgomery go with Todd Portune, but I think that it's only going to carry maybe in the county. You know, I'll tell you what might be interesting to see if Victoria Parks get out here and start campaigning for Connie Pillage. Because supposedly she endorsed Connie Pillage over Alicia Reese, which was shocking, but maybe not so much.
Well, she wanted to keep in line with the will of Todd Portune, right? Because he endorsed Connie Pillage.
Yeah, that's probably true. Wanted to stay in line with Todd Portune, but now that Todd Portune is gone, you know, maybe she, you know, would do her own thing, but you know,
I don't
think
see
it's
that.
going to carry weight in the suburbs. Well, you know, she's a placeholder anyway. But the reality is she's only going to be there for a certain amount of time. So you would think she'd try to be a little more independent, but I guess not. But it'll probably carry the suburbs, but I don't think it's going to carry in the city too much.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
We'll see. Nah, man. I just, you know, Kobe hurt. That hurt me.
Mm-hmm. All right, brother. Take it easy.
Yep, you too.
Yeah, most
definitely.
I think you got it right. I'm not even sure what it means, but we've been using it back and forth. Iris Rowley writes, good morning, great people, at 8:22 a.m. Clue Magic writes, that sounds like the police were effing with J-Raj. Yeah, so there's a video out there. You can check it out. I'm down there. We're kicking it, having a good time, black excellence, popo rolling. Some in uniform, some without. Bulletproof vests. I'm not saying it was SWAT riot gear. No, I didn't see that. But it was certainly coming in a force of numbers. Asked everybody to leave. So all of his customers walked and went somewhere else. Think about that. So in that moment, that little whatever it was cost J-Raj money. And I bet you, and I don't know if he would put these numbers out there, but I bet you that he lost money on a Friday night. And I bet you that probably a non-black owned establishment took advantage of all of that. Like, well, shit, the police ain't over here. Right? Because many people walk to different establishments and spent their money somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is, homie. I'm just telling you the facts. And J-Raj posted that it was over something minor, like he was supposed to have something posted, which, again, if those are the rules, those are the rules. But in the grand scheme of things, we're not talking about drugs or shooting or some major health violations. And I'm thinking, is this the reason why we can't solve these murders? You got all these officers down here for this. It's the kind of thing that maybe one officer, maybe two officers could have took care of that business. I don't say it. It just didn't seem like it was that super hard impressed, in my opinion. But, I mean, you could think what you want to think. You might have a different opinion. I don't know how many views is on here, but let me look at the comments here and see if I can find what J-Raj posted. And then he posted on his page as well, and I shared it. Thanks for all the concern. Yes, Copa Lounge is open for happy hour. Blah, 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 blah. He writes, earlier today, Cincinnati police and Vice came in dressed like Bad Boys 4 and put everybody out for almost an hour. Bad boys, what you gonna do? He said they came in dressed like bad boys. Now, what does that mean? Like, they like Mike Lowry? You know what I'm saying? Like Mike Lawrence? Put everybody out for almost an hour to conduct an investigation. The end result was a ticket for not having license posted and standing water on 2 coolers inside. He said, before today, we never had a violation. I guess they trying to change that. Word of the week is harassment. So he feels like it's harassment. And I'll go with what he says. Man, so many people posted on here, man, who had no idea what was going on. And for me, you know, it was a reflex. To be honest with you, I didn't even think about it. I just pulled my phone out and started recording, didn't even think about it. It's a reflex. Oh, shit popping off. Click, click, click. Right? Real quick. For me, I think, and there may have been some concern about that video. I'll put it that way. I mean, I may have gotten communication that initially there was some concern that people would think like negatively of the establishment. But I don't see it that way. I think it's important for people to see that everybody's having a good time and chilling. And then the boys come in and make everybody leave. And I think it's important to see just how much of our tax dollars, like how many of our tax dollars in terms of police man hours did we pay for to harass J-Raj on Friday night? I'd like to know. Because I saw a whole lot of officers, man. Ain't nothing going on in the city. I mean, there's got to be something going on in the city. And J-Raj says that the 2 things was, number 1, the license has to be posted, and standing water in 2 coolers inside. Now, you telling me that 2 officers couldn't handle that work? And then the rest of the officers can get out here and catch the real bad guys? Again, he says harassment. I'll go with that. You know, whatever he said. Mike Davis writes, support black business. Absolutely. Cam writes, was Black Mamba a black boule like LeBron James? I don't know. Mike Davis writes, F the police coming straight from the underground. Young brother got it bad because I'm brown. That could have been what J-Raj was feeling. That could have been. Somebody writes, nah, Kobe wasn't black boule. Oh. Kobe, Drop writes, Kobe was not a professional Negro. Black Russia writes, Todd Portune endorsement will influence the commission race. Reese will win anyway. Hashtag all middle. Jackie writes, why would you say that, Drop? I'm trying to catch up here. RIP Kobe still doesn't sound right and or feel right typing it. It doesn't. Jackie writes, she did say the N-word. Damn shame. I'm not trying to lie. Lying ass heifer. I say it for you. Lying ass heifer. Mike Jones writes, deflect, F the facts, right? You say, so what? Defending white supremacy. Drop writes, rear clear politics average of polls has the orange one at 45%, up since the sham impeachment trial began. I mean, he's got all of it down, doesn't he? Drop has it all down. Rush Limbaugh, not Russ, but Rush Limbaugh would be quite happy about that. I bet you Dr. Boyce Watkins is going crazy today talking about Lizzo. She won 3 Grammys. So her and Billie, is it Eilish? Billie Eilish is the new young, not sexy Madonna who's going to, disappoint her white parents and do drugs and wear weird shit. It's Billie Eilish. She was big. So that's the new voice, the new face of music for the year, right? Per the Grammys. Clumatic writes, Allison Morris definitely said the N-word and Tamaya didn't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Right. They thought Tamaya Denard was going to go for the banana in the tailpipe, and she didn't. And yet you got people out here trying to conflate 2 completely different issues. Blah, you know who you are. Brother Mazzone's writes, when you poll majority of Trump supporters and you sprinkle in a few with common sense, then the 45% is what you get, Dumbo. Black Russia is talking about Tamaya Dinar, says she's going to be somewhere on Friday at court appearance. He writes her and her bae. Are you jealous? Are you jealous of Tamaya Dinar? I think that's what it is. See, I'm starting to remember I said this to you before. Stop being jealous of Tamaya Dinar, please. Jeez, just go live your life, man. Da-na-na-na-na-na, live your life. You heard the song. All right, let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, it's Kevin on the cell again.
Kev on the cell, what up?
2 times, so I'm trying to make it. Hey, the Billie Eilish, she is the opposite of the drug type of person. And
oh, is she?
Honestly, my daughter got me on this, man. One of the newspapers, whatever, took a picture of her and tried to make it sexy or something like that, and she went off on me. Said she ain't a sex symbol. She don't want to be a sex symbol. She's putting out good music for kids and trying to support kids and really positive stuff, man. So
okay.
I don't want you dragging her. She's good folks.
All right.
Absolutely, man.
All right, take it easy. Yeah, Black Russia writes, Tamaya unfit to be mayor. Oh, really? Oh, really? So you telling me John Cranley was more fit than Tamaya Dinar to be mayor? Oh, dear Lord. Oh, my gosh. I don't know what to say to that. I really don't. I'm astounded. TNT writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you, TNT. Been missing you with the Dope Chicks. Did the Dope Chicks Collective for podcast you'll hear real soon. And you can subscribe to that podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And we're just getting started. Just getting started. Good to see you, TNT. I thought about that yesterday. TMZ always seems to get the news, which seems so suspect. Cassandra writes, but what if his wife and the other families had not been notified yet, though, Nate? I get that they were right, but have some respect for people's family. What I'm saying is they gave that up. That's the yin and the yang of celebrity. The good, like if I told you straight up, you got a choice. I'm going to make you wealthy and I'm going to make you a celebrity. But on the flip side of it, if you die tragically, TMZ is going to report it before your family finds out. What would you choose? You're going to choose whatever you desire, but more than likely you're going to choose the fame and the fortune. That's all part of it. You can't blame TMZ because that's just the nature of media. If it wasn't TMZ, it'd be ZMT. It'd be, MSNBC or ABC. One way or another, that story was going to break before his family was notified. Unless the people that do the notification did that shit super fast. Other than that, if you're somebody like Kobe Bryant, that is what's going to happen. Period. And you can give all that up and just give up the wealth and give up the fame. And you can be a normal person where nobody gives a fuck when you die. Or you can have to deal with that. And I'm not saying like it's right or wrong, because it's not either right or wrong. I'm just telling you that's the way it is. That's the way it is. If you're on that kind of level. Michael Jackson, let something happen to Barack Obama. His family ain't going to get a notification before TMZ put it out. It is what it is. Let something happen to P. Diddy. His family may not. I think he found out, man, listen, I'm just telling you, some of those big time celebrities, the way the media is set up now with social media and your Facebook and all that kind of stuff, they know that everybody's on their phones. They're not going to be they're going to confirm as to whether it's true or not. For all you know, and for all we know, TMZ did try. They might have did two things simultaneously. They might have said, you know what, we're going to put the story out. And right before we put the story out, in terms of like maybe a couple of minutes, we're going to tell you. Now, why would they do that? Because as soon as Vanessa finds out, she's going to get on the phone and start calling her family. And the more people she call and tell, the more likely it is that one of them or an associate is going to tell somebody in the news so they can link it out. It's just no way around it. And it's not a good thing. I'm sure it's not comfortable, but it comes with that celebrity territory in 2020. That's just how it's going to be. Black Russia, some liberal shows are already planning a voter suppression strategy. Will black Democrats stand in line for hours to vote for sleepy Joe Biden? As I said, some will, some won't. It depends on how energized they are to vote either for or against somebody. It's all about the energy. Nathan, at one point, TMZ had reported that all 4 of Kobe's children were on the plane. Did they? That's irresponsible. Drop writes, Fame asked me to take down footage of the chopper crash. I did. Brother Mazone writes, it has been confirmed that Kobe's wife found out via TMZ. This is disgusting. I mean, I get it. And don't put me in it. Don't say, Nate, what if it was you? Because then it gets all emotional. I'm trying to stay dispassionate. Okay. What's the difference? Like, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference? Well, the difference is probably like 15 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes at most. If it wasn't TMZ, then 5 or 10 minutes later, it would have been somebody else. And if you're Vanessa, his wife, his widow, and I wish her the best and positive energy this morning because she lost a daughter as well. She lost her husband and she lost her child. Those children have lost their father and their sister. That's terrible. That's terrible. But there really is no good way to get that news. There really is no. Whether it's on TMZ or the medical examiner calls you, they're telling you the same thing. They're not coming home. They're telling you the same thing. And to me, there's a lot of ways that the morality and compassion can be played out. I guarantee you that TMZ has received photographs and images, if not videos, of the crash site that they're not going to play. I can almost guarantee it because people are very, very opportunistic. And if they understand that with all of the emotion around Kobe Bryant, that if they had something like those kind of images, it could be valuable. It could be valuable. And if TMZ posted it, I would say that's crossing the line. That's going too far. It looks like Kobe Bryant's helicopter was flying into low visibility. From what I've read, other helicopters had decided to stay grounded because of those kind of conditions. That could play a part into it. I don't know. Do you think we'll ever know the details? Well, as much as you can get the details, I think that the public wants to know. It's going to be a high degree of interest in what really happened. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of wealthy people that take these private helicopters and shit. They want to make sure they don't get caught up in the game as well. So I don't know. What I will say is that that's my time this morning. I bid you a good day. Have an excellent Monday. Hope you stay motivated. And I'll be back in better than ever with you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We'll chop it up. Have an excellent day. All right. R.I.P. to the dearly departed. Tell the people close to you how you feel about them while they're here. Don't wait. And stay fearless. And we'll talk real soon.